Hello guys, my name is Balkrishna Srivastava and welcome to Code with BK. So in this video, we discuss how to prepare and what to prepare for your ISC 2025 Computer Science Boards practical paper. So before we begin, it is a request to please subscribe to my channel because out of 100 viewers, only 2 to 3 are subscribed. Your subscription is very important, so please do subscribe to my channel. All right, let's begin. So I'm going to cover this video in two parts. The first is going to be what do you prepare? Okay, what to prepare, not what do prepare, what to prepare. Okay, and the second part of this video is going to be how to prepare. Okay, the second part is very subjective. I will share my approach and what I believe is the right way to prepare for such exams. Okay, what to prepare is very concrete. Okay, certain set of points that you must cover. Okay, so you're given 3 questions, and out of those 3, you have to solve one. And the questions are on, you have one question on integers and numbers, you have other on 2D arrays, okay, and you have the third question on strings. Okay. All right, now what to prepare in this is the first thing you must know in all of these is to how to take input from the user. Okay, the code to take input of an integer. Okay, input a 2D array of integers. So most likely you get a question on 2D array of integers. There may be a case that you get a question on 2D array of some other type, maybe a float, but the code remains almost the same. If you get a 2D array of say characters, okay, the code is again very similar. It's just that instead of next int to read an integer, you do next to read a string, and then you get the first character, okay, using dot character 0. Then you should know how to input a string, okay, a line of string, okay, or input 2 lines. There hasn't been a question in the previous years where they have asked you to enter multiple lines. Okay, for example, if they say 5 and then 5 lines follow, okay, they haven't given you an input like that. But if that's the case, all you have to do is read the integer first, which is the number of strings to be read. You create an array, and then you read all those lines into your array. Okay, that question is solved and available on this channel. So all these codes that I'm mentioning here are already solved and uploaded, right? Please make sure that you check the description of this video for all the links to the videos that you should be at least solving in order to prepare for your ISC practicals. Okay, so input part is done. Then comes the next part, which is again something you should do must, is for integers you should know how to find digits of an integer. Okay, find digits to find the sum of digits, find digits to print the digits, find digits to maybe raise digit to the power 2 to the power 3 and add all the digits. Okay, so if you are able to say sum, okay, so if you are able to extract digits of an integer, okay, a lot of your problems you can solve. Okay, because a lot of them are based on extracting the digits, doing something on that, and then finally calculating the result. Okay, similarly for arrays, you should be able to print the array, okay, print the 2D array. Okay, you should be able to iterate row wise, okay, all right, and iterate column wise as well. Okay, okay, then comes the further stuff, but this is something you should must know. Okay, for strings, they usually ask you to maybe check the last character for dot, question mark, or exclamation. Okay, so you should know how to check last character, okay, of string. All right, and then they ask you to split the string into words, and when you do that, you have to get rid of the last character. So you should also know how to remove last character of string. Okay, forgive me for my handwriting. Okay, all right, and then extract words. This is something you should must know. If you know this, then you're halfway through the problem. Okay, further, what you should do, you should practice as much as you can. Obviously, the ideal case is as much as you can. You obviously cannot do everything. Practice number problems. Okay, for example, we have evil number, happy number. Okay, then we have fascinating number, Krishnamurti number, ugly number, and so on. And then you have dates as well. Okay, you should be able to tell, okay, what will be the date after 100 days, right? So I mean, we don't have a lot of problems in the previous year's questions from dates, but there may be a case. Okay, so if you find time and if you can, you should prepare dates as well. Okay, For 2D arrays, you should do all possible matrix operations. That includes finding transpose, okay, mirror, okay, rotating the matrix, okay. Then what are boundary elements, okay, what are non-boundary elements, okay, what is left diagonal, what is right diagonal, okay. You should be able to code all this, okay. Get transpose, get mirror, rotate matrix, okay. There is further stuff that you can do here. For example, you can get to know the code to add two matrices, okay. If you can add, you can subtract them as well, multiplying two matrices as well, okay. All right, if you do all this should be enough. You should be able to solve this 2D array problem, okay. All right, then comes strings. So in most of the cases of strings, they ask you to extract words and then sort the words, okay. And the sorting is usually based on length of the word or alphabetical order of words, or maybe some other third parameter. For example, if you go back, if you look at the code, okay, so this is a string and you should know how to get words from the string using IUSplit. You can write your own function as well, but I don't think there is anything wrong using split, okay. So extracting words I do using splits in one single line of code, and this is usually the format in which the input is provided, where all words are in all letters are in uppercase and two words are separated by a single space. The last character is question mark, exclamation dot or something else. Okay, this is how you get the last character. So I'm getting the print words using split, and then I'm printing the words. Okay, so let me just run this. Okay, so I get the words as for this string. My name is Balkrishna. I love CodeWithBK. All these words. Okay, then you can sort them. So I've written a standard bubble sort code that sorts them. Okay, so and then prints. So my sorting right now is using an is greater function that takes two words and checks if jth word is greater than the j plus 1th word or not. I have taken this function because I can do any kind of a comparison here. So if I choose this, okay, I'm sorting by alphabetical order. That is, if jth word is larger than the j plus 1th word. Okay, so order is alphabetical order: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, J, K, L, M, N. Okay, if I use this, the second comparison, I'm using, okay, length comparison. So if jth word is larger, okay, swap, that is you get in ascending order of length. Okay, all right. Or you can write a function is greater that just compares. Okay, so in this case, okay, you I can do alphabetical comparison, same thing, okay, or length comparison. Okay, so if A is greater than B, I have to return true. Okay, so if you check this, okay, A dot compare to B is greater than 0. A has to be greater than B. Okay, again it will print in alphabetical order. Okay, again if I do the second comparison, A dot length is greater than B dot length. Okay, I print in ascending order of size. Okay, so you can do descending order of size by changing the symbol lesser, greater than to less than. Okay, larger size first. Okay, and then there is some third parameter that they can ask you to sort the words in. In this case, I'm doing number of vowels in a word. Okay, so if I do this, I return true if number of vowels in A is greater than number of vowels in B in two words. Okay, so my has 0 vowels comes first. Is has one vowel. This has one vowel. Name has two vowels. AE, LOVE has two vowels. Now is and I both have one vowel, but Y is coming first because the original order is maintained. Okay, same with name and love, both have two vowels. Name comes first before love in the original order, so that is what is maintained. Okay, and then this and then this. Okay, so sorting words based upon length, size, and some other parameter you can remember using this. Okay, going back. Okay, I guess if you do this and if you understand the most of the code, then you should be okay, I guess. Okay, now let's see what further you can prepare is you can obviously practice more. Okay, you can practice more with dates, numbers, okay, and number system, that is decimal to binary, binary to decimal, stuff like that. Okay, if you have time. Okay, for this for 2D arrays, this should be enough. All right, for strings you can further say, for example, if they give you two lines of input, then they ask you to merge lines. Okay, and merge lines like one word from one, second one from the other, and something like this. Okay, so you can try this, so you can practice further. Okay, and I've already solved a lot of previous year's questions and practice questions. So if you solve a few previous year's questions, that will give you a fair amount of idea. Okay, So this is not exhaustive set of topics, but it is most of the topics you can prepare. Obviously, I will list all the topics in the description that you can prepare. Please make sure you check the description of this video. Coming to the next part. Now, how to prepare. Now, this is very subjective, but I'll put in my inputs. Okay. I'm gonna divide this into two parts. Okay. One is that you have time and you can prepare. You have time. So almost say maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, this is when you decide, okay, tomorrow is my exam. I have like less than 24 hours. This is something that I used to do in my college. I'm a BITS Pilani grad, so we had 0% attendance, right? So for all my exams, I used to wake up, I used to start around like midnight the previous night, and I used to study till like 5:30. So midnight to 5:30 or 6, then I used to sleep for like 30 minutes, and then for my exam at 8. And this is how I gave like all my exams, because I never used to go for classes. I went to like 1% class, and we had 0% attendance. Like nobody said anything if you did not go to classes. Okay, anyways, not sure if you guys want to know that. Okay, so moving on. In both these cases, what I recommend is you to solve more and read less. What do I mean by this? In both these cases, if you have time, you don't have time, you must be writing code to input at least, get digits, extract digits in case of integers, input to the array of input to the array of integers, and try input to the array of characters as well. Print to the array, iterate rows and iterate columns. Okay, iterate rows and iterate columns wise, you can do a practice question. For example, print the sum of row elements for each row, print the sum of column elements for each column. Okay, this at least, when I say solve this, is I'm not asking you to write the code from zero. You pick up the code, find a solution, write it on a paper. Okay, you just have to copy. Then you copy that code on your system. Okay, and you have to copy the complete code on the system, compile, run, and find an output. Okay, and this copying to your paper takes like 10 minutes. Writing the code to your system takes like maybe 10 more minutes. Maybe I'll say 15 more minutes. I'll give you 5 more. Okay, and testing takes 5 more minutes. 10, 15, 15, 10, 20, and 30, maximum 30 minutes. Okay, you are say done with one. And once you are done with one, you are done with input. You can print the 2D array. Second part done. Take 10 more minutes. Write the same code to iterate, find the sum of rows, code, and run say 20 more minutes, and stuff like this. Okay, so even if you have less time, okay, if you just write on a paper, start writing on a paper, code, then code, then code, that is better than just mugging up things. Okay, because in the end you'll have to write code on the system, you'll have to provide an output, and that is what you want to practice more. Okay, same with string. You should be writing the code to input a string, input 1 line, input 2 lines, check the last character, check if it is valid or not, write an if statement if this is valid or not, extract words from the string, okay, the way I have done here. Okay, and write a code to sort. Okay, so this is not much of code, right? You just have to take input here, get the last character, remove the last character, get the words, print words, okay, that I'm doing here using a separate function, sort words. Not a lot of code, but you cannot just say, okay, I know this code. You should be writing this line by line. At most, if you do all this, that it should take maximum of an hour. Okay, all right, so you should practice, and you should pick 2 out of 3 in both these cases. If you have time, you can prepare on all 3. Okay, you can prepare on all 3, but if you don't have time, pick 2 on 3, because you'll be given 3 questions, 1 is strings, integers, and 2D arrays, and you have to solve 1. So you say, okay, I'm gonna pick 2 of my strongest, I'm gonna bet which is the one I'm gonna solve. If you bet on 1, that is going to be very risky. 2 or 3 is very slightly risky, because the chances that you solve the 1 out of 3 question will be the same as that you solve 1 out of 2 questions. Okay, so you can divide and conquer and focus on 2, but if you're just focusing on 1, this is really dangerous. Okay, so let me just draw this dangerous sign. Okay, this is a bone. So my art and craft again is very good. Art is very good. My painting is very good. It does not look very nice here. Okay, you can follow me on Instagram for all that. Okay, so practice coding, then try to divide and conquer. If you don't have time, if you're not very well prepared, pick out 2. Okay, so if you just do this basic practice and pick out 2 and 3, your step 1 is done. Then you start coding as many as problems possible, and that's the whole idea. Okay, so for example, in all these numbers, code 3 and read 2 rather than reading all 5, or maybe code 2 and read 1, or maybe code 2 and read 2, but at least code a couple of them. Okay, so that you write the entire code, and I'm not asking you to write from zero. Look at the code, write it on a paper. You have a solution in front of you. You can find the solution links in the description of this video. You have the solution in front of you, write it on a paper, type it on a system, compile, run, and check. Okay, and that's what I mean by solving. You don't have to start thinking, okay, how do I solve this? No, you just have to practice. You should just know how to solve this code. Okay, so a coding part gets done, and then you start thinking on the part and how you're going to solve a new problem. Okay, the problem that they're going to give is more or less similar to what we have done so far and also in the previous year's papers, right? Okay, same with this. Okay, when you have to transform mirror rotating matrix, you look at the code, you already have the code for input and print. Okay, you write another function that takes a matrix, returns a transpose. Write the paper, write in system, code run. Then you move to mirror, do the same thing, write in paper, write in system, run. Okay, and as much as you can. Okay, and same for this. And within all this, you decide how much time do you have, because you people have, a lot of you will be having your JE exams to prepare, and then a lot of you might be thinking of doing something else after your 12th standard, right? So I understand your time is limited, right? This is the danger zone where you have to optimize the most. You pick out 2 and 3, you and you do the basics first, and then you solve as much as you can solve. Okay, again, if you plan to read 5 questions and learning them, like read 2 and code 1, or maybe read 1 and code 2, something like this. Okay, at least my idea here is to code as much as possible, and in both these cases, in this case as well, a day before your exams, you should be coding plus learning both. You should just the learning part is not okay if you are not a practice programmer. Okay, if you code regularly, then that's okay. If you don't code regularly, I really don't recommend. There's no point just mugging up solutions if you just don't code, if you just don't type. Okay, all right, the final part is tips, which I will do in a separate video, but I guess this should be helpful, right? My I guess my percent in 12th standard was 95.75 ISC, which was very bad compared to my 10th, because in my 10th standard I was first in my city, first in Kanpur city. I had 98.4%. And I guess that was the exam that I was actually preparing. And also, I mean, my input about you people preparing exams is, don't think this in terms of marks and numbers, that your aim is to get marks for somebody else. Everything that you do here, all the inputs that you are putting in here are for yourself. When you start thinking that this idea of getting higher score and higher marks is for myself, then you're in the right mindset. Okay, you don't have to prove it to anybody else. The only people you are answerable are to your mom, dad, right? There are only 2 people can ask questions, and you should be able to answer. Even me, I'm only answerable to my mom, dad, nobody else, right? Okay, so think in terms of why you are doing this. You're doing this because this is for yourself, right? I come from a very humble background, right? I'm able to have a life that I have right now because I studied at the right time, man. I did not study in college, not the wrong time. Okay, so that's my input, man. And for ICSEs or for ISC students, if you want more input how to prepare and how to prepare other stuff as well, and if you want to know my inputs, let me know in the comments. And I guess I'm not over explaining here. I hope you get an idea of what I'm trying to say here. Okay, the idea is to practice, divide and conquer, pick out your strengths. If you can, obviously the ideal case is to prepare everything, but that never happens, right? Really happens. I'm glad if you're able to. I was able to as well. I was very well prepared. Type more and solve more and read less. That's the idea. Okay, anyways guys, I guess this is enough. If you have any doubts, there is any part you don't understand, please let me know in the comments. Any other doubts, if you want to know about me, you can follow me on Instagram if you know about me. If you want to know about anything else as well regarding this, please let me know in the comments. Okay, all right guys, all the best, and I'll be adding more videos in terms of more practice questions, so please keep checking them out. Please let me know your reviews, and thank you for watching.